Right, guys, what's happening? Tommy back here again. And I just want to talk about Arne Slot. I want to talk about Liverpool. I was going to sit down at the PC. I was going to do a video, but I feel like I wanted to do it on the phone. I wanted to do a little something different. I wanted to talk about it all. That game, post-Manchester City 2-1, the way we lost that game, absolutely unbelievable. We need to sit down. We need to talk about it. And we need to talk about the state of Liverpool right now and how bland we are as a football team. And as a result, because of Arne Slot. Look, I've been a fan for a long time. A long time. I've seen a lot of managers. I've seen a lot of things come through the door. Seen a lot of styles and players, and I'm sure that a lot of older Liverpool fans out there have seen even more than me. But at least in my actual memory, I can remember games from the early '90s when I was a little kid. So seen a lot, and I've seen enough to know that when it's not going right and when the ship is sailing, when we need to pull the pin. This has happened before many a times, with Brendan Rodgers. When that started to sink, we had to pull the pin. But, you got to go back through, and people always talk about us as a football club and Liverpool as a football club, and what we do right, and we stick together, and we have traditions, and we're not like every other football club. We're not like Chelsea or Manchester City. And that is true, but that was true in like the boot room days, when we had the boot room and we used to promote within, it was the next man up. Everybody knew the ethos of the club, the tactics and whatever, but we don't have a boot room anymore. And it took such a long time, 30 plus years to find Jurgen, and ultimately he brought that back, but he asked for patience, he asked for time, and he got it, and he turned us into the juggernaut that we are, what we used to be. Right now, we're not playing that way, but he turned us back into the juggernaut that we once were. But what's happening with Slot? What's going on? Hey, you've been let in. Little dog's coming. No, mate. Getting back to Slot. So what's happening with Slot? And he's lost any amount of confidence that this club has had. Everything that Klopp built, the machine that we were, it's gone. It is gone. We're so bland. We are like a bland chicken korma. We're basic. We're so just average. We're mild. We're moderate. We're mediocre. We're nothing special. And that's the problem. We've spent all this money, but we spent money in three positions really. And the issue is that we're in sixth place. The clubs around us are making these decisions. So Man United, they knew they were going bad. They pulled the pin. They cut ties. You move on from Ruben Amorim. It's not working. Chelsea, Maresca, not working. Pull the pin. Now, is Liam Rosenior and whoever Man United are going to get, are they going to be the right options? Who knows? Time will tell. But you can't sit still just because you want to act like this club that does the right thing. What's happening now is that because we're holding on so long and we want to give the time on, we're not going to sack mid-season or whatever, we're becoming a laughing stock. It is done. Whatever he had last season, a little bit of Klopp left over, and then his own tactics, it was like a perfect blend. But now it's his own. It's finished. The players don't look like they want to play for him. There's no style. It's lethargic. It's sideways. There's no intensity. At least with Klopp, when we used to watch Jurgen, Jurgen Klopp could have a shit team, but we knew how he was going to play. It was going to be intense. He was going to press. They were going to try. And that's what Liverpool is, especially at Anfield, the crowd. They need to get up for you. And the way they get up for you is because you try, the effort, you're running your heart out. There's none of that in this side. There's just nothing there. It's empty. And that's really disheartening. Like, you can tell in the fans. There's nothing there. It's like a library at the moment. There's no passion in the stands, and that's because of what Slot is producing. Now, I don't think he can get it back. And they did this video with Richard Hughes and, Slot behind the scenes. And I just thought it was so fucking cheesy and unneeded. Like, it was almost like believe in us and, back our decision. I just felt it was so unnecessary. Like, this is why we kept him, because we put the faith in him. Like, this isn't a best friend's business. This is a professional football club that generates lots of income, and we should be challenging for the top honours. We spent lots of money in the summer. Now, admittedly, just because you spend lots of money doesn't mean you're 100% guaranteed to be challenging. We know that. We get that. But the performances are terrible, and I don't think that they can pull this back. I don't think Slot can pull it back because I don't see an identity on the pitch that goes, all right, you know what? Maybe the talent's not there, but at least they're trying. And once, we put some players in these positions, we're going to get better. It's not a case of that. There's not an ethic there. And when there's no work ethic, there's no drive, you got problems. And I think we're just holding on way too long. Way too long. We're going to let Xabi Alonso, whoever, it might not be Alonso, but let's say the next manager that's probably available right now, we're going to probably let them go because we're holding on so tightly to Slot. We want to give them the chance. Like, okay, you want us to lead title, that's fantastic. And you'll be forever remembered in the club. But once it starts to go, like, this is why Liverpool, this is going to piss off a lot of Liverpool fans, but this is why we remained in that mediocrity for 30 years. Because the likes of Manchester City and Chelsea and all that, when they see something not going right, they change. And that's why they're always successful, because they change. It's not working, bang, you get the next one in. Now, I'm not calling for people's heads every year. I don't agree with that. I understand that. Like, I don't want to be this type of club that just, you had a few bad results, bang, you're gone. It's not that. Because I can handle finishing 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever. If the team was playing, if they were running their guts out on the pitch, but they're not. It's bland. I can't express it enough, guys. If you're not watching Liverpool, if you're not a Liverpool fan, you're not going to understand this, but there's no enthusiasm. There's no spirit. He's lost the spirit. It is gone. And if you hold and hold and hold, probably not going to make Champions League. I don't think we're going to win it. So we're definitely not going to finish top 4. Then it's a season. Then you've got to try catch up. You're playing catch up. And everything that we did from 2016 onwards with Jurgen is now looking like it was all for naught. Everything that he built in 10 years, it's gone within a season. We won the league, bang, it's finished. Because now we've got to rebuild that powerhouse that we had under Klopp. I don't know if Slot can do it. I really don't. Anyway, I need to talk about Intervet. I think we need to do something about it. I'm stunned that he still has a job. I really am. You don't get any credit and favoritism from keeping a manager that doesn't deserve to be there. Like, we're being made to be a laughingstock of the league right now. Everybody's looking at us thinking, well, look at them. They're just holding on to him, and clearly it's finished. That game was woeful, and there's been lots of games, that it's been woeful. There's been a few shining lights, like Ekatike and Wirtz have come into their own a little bit, but we lose a game, we win one. We lose a game, we win one. We lose it, we're dreadful. That Manchester City side was there for the taking. They're not a fantastic side. I don't think they're going to win the Premier League. Defensively, they've got their own issues. I'm not saying that we should have beat them, but they definitely should have been there for the take. We should have caused them more problems, and that's the issue with Slot. And then there's just no bravery. We can't hold. We're like a leaky sieve. We cannot stop anything. We're terrible. If any team presses us, they just start to put a little bit of pressure on. We fold like a deck of cards. We're finished. Anyway, it's really frustrating. I don't like calling for managers' heads, but you've got to see the writing on the wall, and you have to understand that this probably isn't going to get better. But anyway, that about wraps it up, guys. We'll talk about some things. I'll make another couple of videos, but yeah, Arne Slot, what do you reckon? How long has he got? See you later.